This is an application where you can make insurance payments online. Here, I think I showed you this example already, but here what you have to do is, here first you need to open this main application licindia.in, then click on this premium calculator. Here the premium calculator, you see some product name where you can select any product, right? If you select any valid product and click on select product, you will see a premium calculator like this. This is called premium calculator. You can enter your values and do the calculation, or else you can just click on this select another product and go to the previous page. Here what I want to do is, first of all you should write the script for open licindia.in. Next script, you should generate the script for click on premium calculator. Right, after doing this, you'll go to the page where you can select your plan. Select a plan. Okay, it says select a product. The plan is nothing but product. So what I want to do is, for selecting the product, you need to get the data from external Excel file in your local computer. So the Excel file should contain different product names, and from that you need to fetch the data, then select the particular product, then fourth one, then click on calculate the premium button. Click on calculate premium button. Suppose if this is a valid data, means plan is valid, you will see you will be automatically navigated to this page, this premium calculator page. Suppose if you are having invalid data, you should also write the code to handle the error windows or error messages. Means handle invalid data. Like we are doing flight reservation. Here we are getting some message because of invalid data. If this data we are using is invalid, we get the error message. We are handling this way, right? So you should handle the error window or else any error message, whatever is the case here. Then suppose the data is invalid, means you'll see some error message. So you should handle that and go for product again, selecting the product again. Otherwise, if you see any valid data, then you should be navigated to this premium calculator. So once you navigated to this premium calculator, again you should click on select the product and come here, select the plan again, and so on. It should be iterated for each row you have in your Excel file. And here is the Excel file. Right, this is your Excel file having different products. You can add any number of products you want, but make sure the product you add here is exactly the one which is present in this menu, in this list box. I have added a few. You can work out on this and then you can add some more if required. See here, this is a valid one, right? This is also a valid plan, but this is invalid. Means if I select some default value like a children plans and say select product, you'll see this message. Means you should write the code to handle this message. How do you handle this? Just first of all add this object also to the repository, then write a code to handle this. Once you click on OK, again you see this. So you should again be able to select the other plan, then click on select product. You see here, you come here. Once you come here, you should again insert one more message here. You should create one more column which is some status, and you should put premium can be calculated, because once you see this window, it means that it can be calculated once you see the data. Means checking whether the product selected is a valid one or not. So that is the scenario, and your output file should look something like this. Yes. So your output should contain 2 columns with the appropriate message accordingly. Premium is calculated. Otherwise, if it's an invalid plan, something like this default value, then it should say premium cannot be calculated because the plan selected is not valid. So this is an assignment on which you can work on. This will be very helpful for you, this exercise. So once try this one. If you have any problems, I'll do this in the next session, or else you can also go through the video tutorial of this. Have any questions regarding this assignment? This is the notepad in which we are having different order numbers, right? We have parameterized this using a random number, or else we have used data table parameters. But this time need to get the data from a notepad like this, which contains one heading order numbers. Next, it contains order number 5, order number 7, order number 9, and so on. So I need to get this value and use it in my script. From a notepad, how to get that particular value? Let us see this. So to use any Excel file in our system, it belongs to the object file system object. Means to perform any object on your any application, here we want it to be an object, isn't it? Similarly, for an Excel file, we have just imported into your data table, and again data table is an object on which you can perform the methods. But here we are having a notepad. So to do any operations on the notepad, I want to create an object, a notepad object. Right? Then only I can use my methods and objects. So how to create a notepad object? Means a text file object. We have a syntax for creating object, which is called set and the object name, whatever the name you use here, means FSO is the object name. And the syntax is like we have created some description object. Similarly, create object, and then I can give the name. Here name means here all the notepads, all the utility windows comes under the class file system object. They belongs to the class file system object. Is nothing but an object model which is used to open any folders, or else open any files, or else do some operations on the objects like this notepad or MS Word. So that for that purposes this file system object will be used. So now I want to create a file system object of this notepad, and the name I am giving to the object is FSO. So when I say set FSO equal to create object, and here again I need to write the parent object of this file system. I cannot directly write file system object because it belongs to the class. I mean, it's a child of the class or a library which is called scripting.filesystem object. Like we are having hierarchy for different objects. Even this file system object belongs to the, or else the child of the scripting library. Scripting library is nothing but a main thing in which we'll be having the file system objects and all the Word documents. All this belongs to the scripting library. Dot file system object. In that one we have the file system object. And this file system is object. It can be used to do any operations like what we are going to do now, like opening the file, reading some data from the file. So we can do that. So for that one we have created FSO object. So now my FSO contains the file system object. It's nothing but it's one file system object. So again I want to create one more object because in this file system I want to use this particular notepad. So for doing some methods or operations on this particular notepad for this particular file, text file, I'm creating one more object called F, and again the same syntax. Create object. This time I can just create directly because it's already, sorry, here FSO dot. It's not a create, yes, FSO. Hmm. No, you can, I mean FSO you are talking about, right? It's just your object name. You can give any name. If you want, you can even give a new one, whatever name you want. Just something because it's related to file system object. I just gave a name relatively so that you can understand by seeing FSO means it's something like a file system object. Whenever you go back to your script later on, your variable naming should be in such a way that the name should give some message which is something relative to the object which you are creating. Otherwise, if you use, you can use new one, or else you can use even your name dot something, whatever you can give. But when you come, yes, 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 see this file system object, as I told you, this is one object model, like we are having data table, isn't it? Data table is one object, and on that data table we are doing so many operations like set current row, get row, whatever we are doing, right? So to do some operations we want some object. So to open any files or folders in your system, in your computer, okay, in your directories, to open any files or folders in your directories in your system, you will use an object called file system object. Like a data table, we have a file system object which belongs to our system, which is used to do some operations on our system files and folders. So, and again, this file system object is a child of the scripting library. Scripting library means it contains many objects like file system object. There could be ADO objects, or else of course ADO belongs to another library, right? Means the different types of objects are clubbed into one library. Like here it is scripting library. Means it contains different objects like file system. Like suppose if you, yes, suppose if you want to make any modifications to your Internet Explorer, Internet browser you are having, right? Suppose you want to make some operations on your Internet browser, like getting some data or something without using your object repository. If you want, you just say you want to create the object of it. Set some object for that, create object of Internet Explorer, write the method create object, and then you can use the library. Here the main parent object is, you write Internet Explorer dot application. By writing this, your Internet Explorer object will be created. Okay, just the syntax here, Internet Explorer dot application means your Internet Explorer object will be created, on which you can again perform your operations. Likewise, we'll be having one more object which we'll be using for database connection, which is called you can say some set connection equal to, which we'll be learning this in the next sessions. Create object of, you use ADODB dot connection. Here again the concept is different. ADO objects, to create a connection or to do any operations on your database. Suppose you are having some database on another system or somewhere else on other server. You need to connect to the database. To connect means you should create one connection object to establish a connection. So how do you create a connection object? By writing the syntax create object. And what is this ADODB? Again, this is a library which contains so many ADO objects, means ActiveX data objects. These are used to perform operations on your database. Don't worry about this. Don't take this too much. We'll be learning about this connection object in the next session. Just here, you need to understand FSO file system object is a one object model. Like you can take it as one object, which is used to perform operations like opening the files or reading data from the files, or else opening any folder. For those things, this file system object model will be used. Like data table object is used to perform operations on your data table. Likewise, file system object is used to perform operations on your files and folders present in your computer. As simple as that. See, file system object is an object model which is used to perform operations like reading data from the files, or else opening the files, or else opening the folders from your computer. Just remember, that's all. That is enough. Okay, and again coming to the scripting is nothing but you can take it as a parent, like, or else a server name in which this object is present. Let us take the scripting library is nothing but like a server name in which your file system object is present. See here, if some parent is there for data table, you would have written something dot data table, isn't it? Or else we have used in our applications. We write the parent and then the object which you are going to use. Similarly, the same thing. Scripting dot file system object, because file system object belongs to the library called scripting. Okay. Now I have created one file system object. Now I want to create one object for my notepad. I cannot directly go and do operations like this. If I want to do any operations, I want to create an object of it, means an instant of the object. Because here all VB scripting is everything about object oriented concepts. Everything goes with the objects. So create another object for the notepad. Set fs equal to, now this notepad belongs to the file system object. Here this object is the parent in which my notepad is present. So fso dot, I see here when I put fso dot, you see all the methods applicable. Right, now you can do operations on your notepad. Otherwise, if you don't create this file system object, if you suppose your FSO is not a file system object, let us say you are going to use some more object like FCO. You put dot. Can you see any methods? Can you do anything? Because it's a file system object, you see all the methods applicable on that object, so that you can perform your operations like copy the file, open the file, or else read the data from the file. Got me? See, suppose I am using some other object which I not it's not a file system object, FSO, or else say new one dot something like dot. Do I see any methods? Because it's a file system object, I can do the operations. So FSO dot. Now I want to firstly to read the data from this notepad. What I want to do? I want to open this text file. So I can write FSO dot open text file. See here, when I write, automatically the method is shown here. Open dot open text file, and this is the syntax. File name, and then what I want to do. Everything is optional here. Input output mode. I'll tell you what this. First write the file name, including the path. Where is this notepad present? It's in the C drive. In the C drive, and the notepad name is orders, right? Orders.txt, extension for the notepad. Then I need to write the input output mode. Input output mode is having a 3 types of modes. Means I want to open the note file in which mode? There are 3 modes. One is read mode, one is write mode, and the other one is append mode. Read mode means 1. 1 indicates it's in the read mode. Here I want to read the data from notepad. I don't want to write anything into the notepad. So I just want to open it in the read mode. Read mode means it's a constant value. Like if you want to read some data, you should use 1. Or else if you want to write something into your notepad, even you can insert your data here. So then you have to use 2, which is indicates write mode. Or else 8. Append means both read and write you can do. I am just using read mode, so that my notepad opens in the read mode, so that I can read the data from the notepad. So once I do this, fso.open text file, the particular file name, and then in the read mode. Now my F is nothing but an object of the notepad on which I can perform the operations. It's nothing but the notepad object. Means you can take it as a copy of this notepad on which I can perform the operations. So now my F is nothing but my notepad. So when I put F dot, see here, again I am seeing all the methods or operations which I can do on my text file, like a close or a read, read all, read line, skip line, everything I can, or else end of the line, means checking whether the script or else the content in the text file is at the end, each having a different meaning. See here, read all. Then if you want to write blank lines, write a number of blank lines to the string. So now F dot, I want to first of all, so now my text file is open. So here go line by line. First line is nothing but order numbers. Order numbers, do I want this value? Because it's just a heading. So I want to skip this one. So you can just directly again go F dot. You see everything. So let us check any method to skip the line. See, this is the skip or skip line. Skip a line or a skip means skip a specific number of characters. I just want to skip the entire line. So select this skip line. Means I'm just skipping this line. Now my execution or else my file will be reading from this line, second one, which is order number 5. Now start reading from the second line, skip line. First line was skipped. Now you are at the second line. Now I'll use a method f dot read line because I want to read a complete line, read an entire line into a string. String is nothing but group of characters. So read line. After reading the line, I want to assign it to some variable, x equal to, means now what my x contains? My x contains f dot read line of equal to x means my x contains now order number 5. To see what my x contains, let us use a output function message box of x. Let us see, execute it. Right? Now my x contains order number 5. After reading the complete line, I don't want this order or number, right? I just want the value here, 5 I want. So let us write the script to fetch only that particular value from this entire x. So now my x contains the complete line, but in from the line I just want the particular last value. So how do I get? We have already seen some built-in functions, right? Some string functions like a low case, L case, U case. We have seen some functions like a low case, L case, or it's a mid. Mid is a string function which is used to extract some particular part of the string. So we can apply those methods here. In the last class, someone asked, right, is it different from the one which we are going to use in QTP scripting? Is the VB scripting all the functions different from the one which we are going to use in our QTP scripting, right? Now you will understand where you apply those functions and all. So VB scripting and QTP scripting are not different, but the way you apply is important, where you use those functions. So now let us use one more function which we have, which is called a split function. Split function is nothing but another built-in string function. Just put split and open the parenthesis. You see the syntax here. Syntax takes expression delimiter. Delimiter means by which you want to separate the string. See here, now my message box x contains order number 5, but I just want this thing. So I'll use a split function and then I'll split the complete string into the part by using a delimiter. Delimiter is nothing but separator. by which you want to separate this string. I want to separate this string by spaces. See here, this takes the syntax x comma. What is my delimiter? Delimiter is nothing but the separator. I'll use a space as my delimiter, so that now my split function will return an array variable. We have also seen what are arrays. Arrays are nothing but a series of variables. Like and now assign this to some variable called n. Now n is a array variable which contains 3 array variables. Like you are dividing it with a space. So the first array variable will be order, the second array variable will be number, and the third array variable will be 5. See, to see this output again, use this message box function. Message box n of 0 means array will be to get an array, any value from the array, you use n of 0. 0 is nothing but the index value of that particular variable or else particular value. N of 0 means first variable, which is order. N of 1 means second one. N of 3 means third one. So similarly, use here message box so that you will see all the values. N of 1. Message box. Whenever you want to see the output, you can do it this way. Just comment this. See here, n of 0 means it got already separated. It's my x contains the complete string, but I don't want that, right? I just want the only 5, means I want to separate the complete string into parts so that I can convert into some array variable by using split function. So order. Next one, see, message box n of 1 means number. N of 2, I got the value. So I can use this one in my script to parameterize the open order. So that is how a split function is used. Or else do one more thing. Always you need not give a delimiter as some space. This time I am giving delimiter as r. Means it will divide the string wherever r is there, it will divide. Means we are having order number. So the output could be, when I use r as a delimiter, it will divide by r. So my first part is O. Next r will be removed because r is my delimiter, that will be removed. So the next part, second part would be DE, because here again I have R, so it will remove. Next part would be some space and NUMBE. Again R will be removed. Next one will be S and some space and 5. So by using R, let us execute this. See the value, see here, first time we got O, means R is a delimiter. It will separate by R. Here O R D R. So it will separate by R and it will remove the R. So second one DE. It just removed R. So next comes NUMBE. Next we'll get some space and 5. If we write some message box, because it's having 4 values, you will get the last one. N of 3 means you will get the last one. DE, NUMB and then 5. Of course, here 5 is having some space. So that is how you use a split function. Here I am using delimiter so that I get my exact value into my message box n of 2. N of 2 means the last value in the variable, in the array variable. So I have used a readLine function to read the complete line. Then after reading the complete line, I'm using split function on that complete line so that I fetch the value. So the value which now I want is just n of 2, because that is the one which contains my order number. So now let us write the script to open the order. Means first of all, add the flight window to the repository. I'm not just going to use the login one. I'm not just going to write the login. I'm just opening the flight directly. Here I'm just directly recording. You can directly first add to the resource objects, add the objects and then do. I'm just going for record here. So now go for open order, select the order number, give some order number, done. Stop recording. Right, this is the script for just open order scenario. Now I want to do it for each line of code. And also I want to parameterize this thing. So now you'll remove this order number, which is a fixed value, and you can just put n of 2 because it is a array variable where my order number is present. Now again I want to repeat this line of code until the file is at the end. Means I want to repeat till the end of the file. This is the file. So I want to repeat this thing until the end of the file, even though any rows were included. Here it's not numbering like a rows. So here we should use one more function because I want to read line from each. I want to use this read line function on each line. So I'll use a while loop here. A while takes the exit statement as went. So put it here. And now while until when I want to do? I want to run this until f is nothing but my notepad. F dot end of line you have. End of line is not equal to true. Means it's not end of the line. End of the line means at the end of the notepad. I want to repeat this until the file is not end. Means end of line is not equal to true. Means it's not the end of the file. So that I want to repeat for each line present in the file. Now let us close this one. Keep this open. Now try to execute it. Right, now go to the text file. Test results document. See here the open order scenario I iterated for all the lines, but here we are not seeing any value. It's just showing that the value is not shown here. Anyway, this is the script to read the data from your text file. Suppose you want to put some status message into your notepad. You can again use write mode here. Means dot you remove this one and put some 2 so that you can write your messages into your text file. So that is how you use data from your notepad. You can do one more example here. We are having the flight and we have this fly from button, right? Fly from or else fly to. You can write a code to just write all these values into your text file. Understood what I am telling? You need to generate the script to write all these values whichever present in this list box into your text file. Let us try to do this. Let us open a new one. I'll show you how to write the data into your text file. So again, create a file system object. Set FSO equal to create object. Again, you should remember file system object belongs to the class scripting dot file system object. Then again I am creating a variable for the notepad into which I want to write. F equal to FSO dot. See here, when I put FSO, you can see create a folder. If you select create a folder and give the folder name, a folder will be created. Means like whatever operations you are going to do on your system, on your computer, means see all this is nothing but your file system. All see here, files stored on this computer. All this is nothing but your file system. See all this things like your C drive, D drive, whatever this, all this is called your file system. That is nothing but file system object. See, this is your file system, right? Your C drive, all the drives or else all your documents and settings or else your shared documents, all this comes under your file system of your local computer. So to do any operations on your file system, like creating a folder or opening a folder or anything, see till now what we have learnt, to do any operation on your things like your data table or anything, it should be an object, right? Because it's all about object oriented concepts. To do any methods, to apply any methods or operations, you should need an object. You should create an object of that. Likewise, we are creating a file system object for this file system present in your computer. That is nothing but file system object. Another simple way to understand what is a file system object. By this time, you might have understood what is a file system object. So this is my file system or else a files library. I want to do some operations on this file system. How can I do any operations on the file system through my VB scripting or QTP? First of all, I need to create an object of that file system. So how to create an object of file system? It belongs to the class or else it belongs to the family which is called scripting library, scripting. So I put scripting.file system object and then create object syntax to create a file system object. Now my FSO is a file system object, so that I can do any operations on this file system object through my script. Instead of going here, opening and just creating go a new, create a folder. Instead of doing this, I can do directly from my script itself. See here, FSO dot. You can give some path, build some path, means build some directory, copy a file or else copy the folder, create a folder, create a text file or a delete a file, delete a folder. All the things which you can do in your file system, all the things can be created from your scripting if you create an object of it. That is nothing but your file system object. Is it clear now? Hope it's better now. So now after creating object, what I want to do now? I want to create a text file now. See here, this is the create a text file. And now it takes the syntax is file name. Give some name by which you want to create the file. Let us give the file name as items.txt, extension of the file. Then here I told the mode. Which mode I want to write? Write means it's a constant value. Okay, it's a fixed. If you want to write or make any changes, you should write the mode value as 2, which is a constant. If you want to just read, you can use 1. So now I have a right to write something on the particular file. If the file is not there, it will be created. So create a text file, items.txt. Fine, now my file is created and it's in the write mode so that I can write anything. So what I want to write? I want to write all the values present here. But what are all the values present here? How to get all the values present here? We have one method which is called, one thing we have. First of all, add the objects to the library. I'm just adding this object. Yes, win combo box fly from. Now, flight reservation dot win combo box. It's a fly from dot get RO property, runtime object property. Then items count, property name. This will give you the number of items present in the list, win combo box. So, and then the item number I am taking into a variable called n. So, I got, suppose 10 items are there. Now my n contains 10. And I want to write I want to get each value, right? So, how to get each value? Window.flight reservation dot win combo box fly from dot. I have one more method here, get item. Get item, and then the item number will give the name of the particular item. Item number is nothing but here, give some counter variable I. I means, let us use a for loop here and put this in the for loop because I want to iterate the complete thing for each value in the list. Why for loop? Because suppose n is 10. I want to execute it 10 times, isn't it? See here, this is the application. If suppose there are 10 values, first time I want to go here, get the Denver value, then put it in the text file. Then again go here, go for the second one, again get the Frankfurt, put it in the notepad. Again go here, get the third value which is London and put it again in the notepad. So I want to repeat the thing so many times, and that so many times means as many times as the value is n. And I want to start it from the value I and initialize I to 0 because the item number starts from 0. That's what we have learned. Get RO property will give you the items count and the numbering of each item starts from 0. Means if this is your application and the value means item number of this Denver would be 0. 0, 1, 2, 3 and so on. Means if there are 10 elements, the last element number will be 9, 1 less than the number of elements. So I'm starting from 0 so that I go for the first value to n minus 1 because there are only n minus 1 values. 10 values means I have only numbering till 9. So I will run the loop from I equal to 0 to n minus 1 and get the item count. First of all, before directly putting into the text file, assign it to some variable x. Now my x contains the value. Now put this x into the notepad. How to put? Now my notepad object is f. So f dot, you have a write line. Write a string to the stream, or else a write blank lines. We have a write line. Write a string at an end of a line to the stream. So use this one. F dot write line, and this is optional in or a text. So F dot write line will put the value into the notepad. Otherwise, you can do one more thing. If you want to put something, you can just say index number is colon, put this complete thing in drag quotations, index number is colon, and then give some space. To append a space, use ampersand. As we studied, ampersand is a concatenation operator used to concatenate the different strings. Concatenate, and if you want to put some space, you can use directly space of 2. Means 2 spaces will be added there. Then again concatenate operator ampersand, means ampersand is nothing but AND operator, and then X. So this is how you will write to the text file. First check for syntax errors. No syntax errors. Let us execute the script. Now see the output. Yes, this is the file created, items. And see here, index number is colon Denver, Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, Paris, Portland, San Francisco, Seattle, Sydney, Zurich. Whatever present here in the same order. Denver, Frankfurt, London, Los Angeles, Paris, Portland, everything written here. Right? That is how you write the data in your text files. By using writeLine function, and you read the data from your text files by using readLine function, or else skip line. If you want to skip any line, you use skip line, or else if you want to read, you use a readLine function, and if you want to extract any particular part of the string, you just use split function, which is an array function, which returns an array of variables, so that you can get the particular value whichever you want to use. These are simple scripts, but it needs a little practice.